Hey gang, Spada here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Dark of the Moon Deluxe Class Soundwave. This figure has been provided to me from my good friends at KapowToys.com. Now, I have to admit, I did not know what to expect from this guy, but he looks pretty good. McLaren. The Mercedes AMG SLS is a very sharp-looking car, but I think the Human Alliance version of this guy looks better in car mode than the Deluxe class. The Deluxe class isn't shabby by any means. Now, as I said, this was provided to me by Kapow Toys, and unfortunately they are out of the stock as of the recording of this video. And that is because, well, everybody's out of stock, because this figure has been canceled here in the US. We're not getting this guy, Deluxe Class Q/Wheeljack, Leadfoot, or Human Alliance Soundwave. They're not going to be released in the US. The version of Human Alliance Soundwave that I have reviewed is the Takara version. So now that we've taken a look at the vehicle mode, let's take a look at the Mech Tech weapon. I actually find this thing really cool. It's a big cannon in its normal mode. Then when you pull the lever back, it becomes a giant satellite dish. I find that really cool. That really works for Soundwave, and it's just something that I find really, really neat. I just really like this Mech Tech weapon. It just fits the character so well. My only complaint is I wish this thing locked into place. No twisting or shimmying will get it to lock into place, and that's a shame, because in robot mode, if you could put this on his shoulder and just have it like that, that would be very, very cool. The other thing I really do like about this figure is these gray bits actually pop down, and they're supposed to pop back up. I might have broken mine by pushing the weapon all the way in. Nope, there we go. It snapped right back into place. So that's something that I've only seen on a very few Dark of the Moon figures that I wish all of them had. Just this little extra thing to close up the holes. But very, very cool. So let's go ahead and look at the transformation. Transforming Soundwave is more of a pain in the butt than anything else. It's not to say it's hard, it's just annoying, especially when you don't have any directions. Now, that's not a fault of Kapow Toys at all, really. I have no idea why the box did not contain any directions. The box was not open. But anyway, so the transformation is interesting, but really annoying. The sides of the vehicle in the rear form the legs and the feet, and then the hood and the top and the rear windscreen form the backpack. The rest of the robot is just a pretty much unfolding of the entire underside of the car. The big problem is getting the front wheel wells out of the way enough to form the shoulders. That is a little bit annoying, especially considering the first time I did it I thought it was going to break the figure. But overall, not a terrible transformation. And here we have Soundwave in robot mode. Now, I have to admit, the Deluxe class version is an interesting figure. As you just saw, the transformation is a little bit on the odd side, as things get in the way all the time. And that actually continues over into the robot mode, where you've got the bottom part here, or the back part of the vehicle mode, just getting in the way of the legs. And then you've got the shoulders, or the front wheel wells of the vehicle mode up here on the shoulders, and they get in the way of these side bits. But that doesn't totally hamper the posability, as this figure is very posable. The head is unfortunately on a swivel joint, so it can't look up or down. Arm is on a ball joint in the shoulder, and then a double hinge, or a hinge joint at the elbow, swivel joint in the upper arm, and then just below the elbow is another ball joint, and then the fists actually swivel in and out. Legs, ball joint in the legs, swivel joint at the upper thigh, hinge joint at the knee, and then a joint at the shin, and, well, the feet don't really move at all. That being said, you can get some nice poses out of this guy. My favorite being the pseudo bodybuilder pose, or put the gun on his shoulder or on his hand and pose him thusly. Now, like I said, the figure does look pretty good. I mean, it looks good on the shelf. There's nothing wrong with this figure, except the paint. I have to complain about the paint job on this guy, because the whole figure is in this weird gray, this dull gray, except the head, which is in bright, shiny silver. What the heck? My thinking is that they started off with the silver, and then they went to the gray because the silver was too expensive. Now, I have to admit, the silver looks really good, and that has to be the single best rendition of Soundwave's face we've gotten for a figure of this size class. It just looks very, very cool. So overall, this figure is, as I said, pretty cool. Though the fact the transformation is a pain in the butt is a little bit annoying. Once you figure out how to do it, it's a lot easier. But considering I did this without any directions, it was a little bit annoying. Chief of which being the shoulders, because it looks like there's a hinge up here. You can see it right there. But when you first start to bend it in, or bend the hinge up, it doesn't want to go because there is a plug, there's a plug right above my thumb that plugs into the upper shoulder area, and that thing didn't want to give. So I thought I broke the figure when I first transformed it. But as you can see, it's fully transformed, and it is pretty cool. The only other issue, besides the paint, he keeps looking down, unfortunately. That is an issue because you really can't get him to look straight without him looking... there we go. I think that looks okay. Does kind of look kind of crotch thrusty, but it works. So overall, this is a pretty good figure. If you could pick it up, I would go ahead and grab him, but it's gonna go for quite a song now that the line is officially canceled.